Time now to know what's on the front pages of the newspapers this morning, and we have lawyers and public affairs analyst Tunji Abdulhammed and public affairs analyst Adekunle Akindeji. You're here with me. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So we'll look at the newspapers this morning, starting with the Nigerian News Direct. Finance Bill 2020. Buhari seeks Senate approval for tax relief job creation in 2021. That's the News Direct this morning. The national economy says PMB launches auto gas scheme, urges Nigerians to embrace gas as alternative to petrol. Leadership says be patient with military, federal government begs Nigerians. Excuse me. Daily Times says National Assembly berates Buhari over Borno massacre, others. The Blueprint says Borno massacre, blame game continues as Rep summons Buhari. Business Day says why recession in Nigeria is worse than in any other country. That's in Business Day this morning. The Nation newspaper says here, Senate, Buhari government has failed to secure Nigerians. That's the bold header in the Nation newspaper. The Daily Trust is saying, take our resolutions serious. Lawan tells Buhari as pressure mounts on president to sack service chiefs. Rep summons Buhari over insecurity. Resign now, Northern, Southern elders tell CNC. The Punch newspaper says here, Borno massacre, Boko Haram mount checkpoints, collect levy, says Senate. Reps invite Buhari. The Daily Sun says, insecurity in Northeast, Senate okays mercenaries used to fight Boko Haram. Reps summons Buhari, demands sack of service chiefs. Massacre will continue until they go, says Northern elders. Calls out of place, says presidency. The Guardian is saying here, Northern elders ask Buhari to resign. That's in the Guardian this morning. This day newspaper is saying Northern elders of very back houses summon of Buhari over insecurity. That's this day this morning. The Vanguard is saying Borno massacre, Senate Shekau differ on casualties. 67 were killed. As according to the Senate, we killed 78, as according to Shekau. So we'll look at the killings in Borno State that happened this week. And of course, it's in major headlines this morning. So, gentlemen, let's talk about this. The Vanguard says Borno massacre, Senate Shekau differ on casualties. Now, the writers are saying different and so many other things. Now, that's according to Senate. We killed 78, that's according to Shekau. Sack service chiefs now, Senate. And as ACF, Afenifere Ohaneze, CNG, back Senate, and all of that. We're moving from one place to the other here. Now, let's look at this now. What's your take? Senate and Shekau differ on the casualties. Of course, people were killed. So are we taking this issue seriously?
We are not.
Why do you think so?
Because if we are taking it seriously, we will not be talking about the number of people that have been killed. The fact is that people have been killed, whether 1, whether 2, whether 3, whether 4, whether 5. And the Senate who are arguing with or disagreeing with Shekau, they were not there. Shekau is there. I tend to believe him more than the.
Why do you believe him more? He counted the bodies.
He's at the scene of the act.
He committed the act.
Yeah, of course. They admitted to it, the Boko Haram people, that they were doing it. So I'm even saying that it's just even not proper for us to be discussing or to be even for this need to be even arguing as to the number of people that have been killed. The massacre is clearly evidence of failure of government in terms of the responsibility and security responsibility. You know, under the Constitution, there are 2 major roles of the president of the government: welfare and the security. And as far as I'm concerned, the security has not been proper. Though we have been told several times that Boko Haram have been disseminated, have been reduced to nothing, have reduced and that. The Boko Haram that has been reduced to nothing is still creating a havoc in the country. So as far as I'm concerned, the issue is not about the fact is that we have less value for human life in this country these days. We've even taken the killing of people as normal, or even when people were killed. You can see it, about over 40 or so people have been killed. I've not seen anything different that happened. There is no declaration of any mourning, what do you call it? The flag our flag were not flown at the half-mast. Nothing to even say we are mourning or something serious happened. Nothing. The president has not even said anything. The earlier they will do, the presidency will say, I'm talking about Garba Shehu, was even add insults to the injury by saying they did not get clearance from the military before going there. Whether they get clearance or not.
Quite a statement.
It is very, very embarrassing and very, very... I can see the reason why we are here today. The people with presidents are people who don't even understand the system, who have shown that they don't have the necessary IQ to give us a direction.
All right, let's move to Adekunle Akindeji. Now, looking at all of this, uproar in House of Reps over resolution to invite Buhari to explain security, insecurity, and Bajabi Amila and Dogowa are saying invitation not necessary. Do you agree?
Well, the question is not whether I agree. The question
the Senate
is...
has summoned the president, but no date has been given yet. So what would the summons do? Even if he comes to, if he accepts the invitation of the Senate, will he solve anything?
Not much would happen by that invitation. It's just one of those things we do as people. When there are issues, we tend to react so that the public knows that there's a form of work or conversation going out there. I think it's really sad to be in Nigeria at this time. I mean, excuse my French. It's rather unfortunate that we have people in government, we have officers, we have politicians and leaders that have been elected to keep the country safe, to keep the economy of the country running, and the same thing that they were being paid for is looking very obvious to everyone that it's not moving forward. The presidency doesn't need to be invited for him to have reacted to what happened. And if he has reacted by now, I mean, if you're a business owner, you have someone who is not performing, you evaluate the person, and then you take a necessary action. If the action remains for him to be sacked or to be moved, so be it.
So what should that action be now?
So I think, first of all, there needs to be an audit. I mean, they need to establish, I'm not even particular about the numbers, whether it's 50 that was killed or one. The life of one person matters, you know. So I think that the presidency needs to get a proper detail of what really transpired there, and the people who have been succumbed with that responsibility to keep life and safety of people, they need to explain. And if after that is done and people are found wanting, they need to be properly disciplined or sanctioned, as the case may be. But a case where everyone has become a judge over newspaper review or press out there, whether from the secretary or from the presidency corner itself, I think is inappropriate, and I think is not acceptable to Nigerians.
All right, gentlemen, looking at all of this now, from what you have said, will the rejigging of the security apparatus solve this problem?
You know, firstly, let me just also contribute to the fact that to the invitation. I don't see the importance of that invitation. What you are supposed to do is to bring out the appropriate punishment under the law. What is the appropriate punishment? Where if a president has not performed his duty very well, the proper thing is to say to move for impeachment of the president. In that regard. So I don't see what the calling will. I'm very sure. Audit.
Are you expecting that to happen now?
He will not attend it. You don't have to invite him for you to take step in that regard. So
but do you expect that will happen with this assembly?
It will not happen. It will not happen. You see, the sacking of the... If we are talking about sacking of the service chief, and we're not talking about the sacking of the president, we are being insincere to ourselves. Who is the commander-in-chief? The president. So if the president decides to appoint people to help him achieve his objective, and they're not doing it, and he's not doing anything about it, what do we do? It's not about calling those people, it's not about calling to sack those people. It's about telling him, okay, well, now that you have refused to take away, the National Assembly, particularly the Senate, have about 3 or 4 many times passed a resolution asking the president to sack the president. Has he done that? Has anything happened? So if they've done all those things and he has not taken it to it, the next thing is to activate the power they have. What is the power? To start the impeachment process. That is it. But in Nigeria, that will not happen. Especially under this Ninth Assembly. Ninth Assembly will not even start that, will not even talk about it. They will be looking for a way around it, and which is not helping us. We don't have people in government who are leading us as Nigerian. They are leading us as, in other words, we don't have people who are concerned about the feelings of the people. They are only concerned about their own personal interests. Sometimes they talk about party, sometimes they talk about their personal interests, what they are looking for in 2023 or thereabouts. You see, I won't see anything tangible regarding this National Assembly, regarding whether or not the president will be sanctioned for anything. The invitation to me, like you said, I don't know what it will achieve. Okay, assuming the president even refused to come, what would they do? Assuming he honored the invitation, and they ask him questions. I will not even be surprised if they give him a, what's it called, standing ovation after delivering his sermon to them. You see, we are not serious. We have not shown any seriousness in this course, particularly in terms of tackling our security, in terms of tackling of providing a good welfare for the people, which is the major responsibility of the government. The issue is that stacking of the chief of staff, the service chief, may also assist in bringing in new fire and new.
But will it solve the problem? Because over time we've had presidents sack service chiefs and bring in new blood.
It will never solve it. But if the way I want to draw attention to something. If you remember in 2015 or before, before the one that the election that sent the president away, that was 2015 election. Do you remember about some weeks to the election, there was issue in Borno State, which will not allow them to do election there. They said, give us 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, they were able to make the place conducive for us to do the election. So it shows that if they are willing, they can do it. And what I see here is that those in government are not willing to solve this problem.
Why do you think they're not willing?
They are not doing the right thing to solve it. I just told you now. Give us 2 weeks. We will ensure the environment is conducive. And it's conducive. It was. Okay. It was. A situation whereby you are fighting people who are clean people. You are able to capture some of them. You'll be talking about rehabilitating and bringing them to society. Giving them money. That's not proper.
Okay, so do you support the...
I have a bit of a different opinion. Okay. So you had asked the question if we need to work on our security apparatus or the architecture, as it were. I think the answer is yes. If something is not working, you've got to look for an alternative. And I think...
What alternative will this be?
So the alternative will come from, which was the first thing I said, trying to audit and understand exactly what is going on. Because today is Borno, tomorrow it could be any other place, right? So it means that if we have security chiefs, if we have security personnel who have been trained to put peace and order into a place, and over again, we're having occurrence and reoccurrence in every state or in some part of a state where there are no peace. I think that the first thing that needs to be done, because if you remove the service chief, which, by the way, I think is long overdue, just on a personal note, if you remove him, it's not likely to solve the entire problems. But it will help to understand what is it that we are not doing right. And I must say that one of the reasons why we are having this is it's all interwoven. The Nigeria rulership or the leadership in the government are not doing enough. Now, when you look at an average man, I mean, Corona or before the pandemic and what have you, Nigerian economy has been in shambles. The pandemic has only exposed us to many things. It may not be the only reason why these people are agitating for a better life or they are going about killing people. There is no excuse to kill, to maim people. But what I'm saying is that we need to sit down and begin to ask questions. We need to audit if the issue is capability or capacity. What kind of capacity do our security men or our service chiefs, do they have? Do they need to be trained? Do we need foreign intervention in terms of expertise and what have you? I think that is beyond...
There was a time we had foreign intervention coming in the area of intelligence gathering.
Yes, and...
So what happened?
So that's what I'm saying. None of us can answer that question.
So there were allegations that there were moles in the military giving information to the Boko Haram.
It's not impossible. Which was why I said the first thing, the presidency has the power, the structure that has the power to investigate, to audit. I mean, there are many things to it. Are people demotivated? Do we have enough armory to be able to capture? How do a set of people run down a total security? It's unbelievable.
If we are talking about auditing at this level, after over 10 years of insecurity by this same set of people, I think we're not serious then. Because I don't expect that over 10 years people will not have looked at what is the causes, what are the reasons, why are we here. So if they are just starting to look at the reason behind it now, that means they are not serious. That's the meaning. Anyway, I don't, like I said earlier, I still want to maintain my side. Yes, I support the fact that look, the service chief should be changed because it's long overdue. If it's not because they've not done their best, they may have done their best, but it's not good enough. Even the president affirmed that their best is not good enough. So let bring new people. To bring new fiber and new power into it, and new strategy into it. But sacking them may not, even if we bring new people, that may not end the what's it called, except the willingness is there from those at the top.
The newspapers here have different angles to this story. Now, the Daily Sun is saying insecurity in Northeast Senate okays mercenaries used to fight Boko Haram. Will this solve the problem? Will this be one of the solution?
Well, no one can say yes or no to it. But I do know that there is a need for a serious rejigging of our apparatus, whatever it is. If it involves what they call state policing, if that's what will solve the issue, let's have state policing. If it involves having an hybrid system where you have the state policing and the national, whatever it is that will make peace and order to restore back, and for the populace to have confidence back in government, and for us to begin to move upward in things. Security is just one out of many things that we are dealing with, or the balls that we are juggling in Nigeria. So what we don't want to have to already a bad nation, a bad economy, quote and unquote, is to add the issue of security to it.
I am of the view that our problem is not about the personnel to security, the fight. Our problem is lack of sincerity and willingness. It appears some people are making money from this fight. You know, we have spent a lot of billions of dollars on this fight, and we are not seeing any result, and it's still growing like that. To me, let's go and import U.S. Army or wherever they were, and we still operate the way we are operating in this country today, they will fail.
Really?
They will. It is not about them alone. It's not about those that don't have the capacity. The people here the environment are not conducive for them to do what they want to do. That is the point. If you don't have the proper environment, you don't have the proper. The U.S. Army came to Nigeria to pick up one of their own recently. Did you hear any news before they are coming? In Nigeria, before they even start, month before, you'll have announced it everywhere.
Which again comes to the issue of capability. How do you do mapping?
Not because they are playing politics with it.
How do you do mapping and you know precision as to where to go, when to come in, when to get your people out? And they were able to do that successfully because, like I mentioned to you, they have all that they need to get the work done in the same country. Yes. So if we do not audit and understand what the problem, and I hear you to say that there may be some political undertone to it, there may be some business side to this, but you see, let's not just predict without having facts. Okay, let people who have been started with this responsibility come out, tell us what their issues are. The presidency that has the power to make a decision as to who becomes the chief of staff or who becomes the chief security should be able to come out and tell the people what the problems are and provide solutions.
They will tell you security issues are not discussed openly.
Moreover, we've had people who came out in the military to disclose facts, soldiers on the ground. First of all, looking at the Vanguard newspaper, the down part said, Court Martial demotes ex-Operation Lafayette Dole commander, General Adeni, on over viral video. So these are the issues now. You come outside, you're demoted or you're removed, you're sacked.
No, so that bottom on the issue of the way they're supposed to work. No matter how much of information that you think you have, going public may not also be in the interest of Nigerians. That I believe that there are channels to go or communicate this, right? And even if the person was going to be sacked, it shouldn't be make a public opinion. I mean, you could have issues in the office and they call you and sanction you to say, if you have information that you want to give, go to the next, except you are then saying that the whole system entirely is not sane, except you are saying that the whole system, the whole military, the whole army, whatever it is that you call it, is not a safe haven for them to have such kind of conversation. Putting things like this in the newspaper creates fear. Even if you have people who have intelligence or information that they want to give to people, they are willing to be able to go out and disclose such.
Yeah, you see, like I said, the attitude of the presidency regarding this issue shows clearly that they are not willing, or they are not ready, or they are not interested in what is happening. Because I can't imagine a situation whereby you have over this kind of number being killed the way they were killed. And today, there is no sign of mourning, even from the presidency. There is no sign of we are not happy. Nothing serious has been done to say, look, we are not. This is serious. The only thing I've heard is from Garba Shehu, which is even embarrassing. Which is not even.
Lai Mohammed said Boko Haram badly degraded attacks defenseless people.
Defenseless people.
That's in the Vanguard.
What is the duty of the government? It's not to defend the defenseless people. You know, sometimes when those in government talk, they talk as if they don't even know their responsibility. And that's why the Garba Shehu is telling us we must seek permission from anybody before we move to that. His excuse was that the farmer did not seek permission from the military before going to the farm. The defenseless people are the one who even needed the security more. But today, those who are not defenseless are the one who are using the security.
Garba Shehu received so many bashings on social media.
He's trying to redefine.
So I think the problem also is when you look at the people who work around the presidency, whether in terms of communication or what have you, they seem to live in a different world. right? Because except they have some informations that are totally different from what some of us, have or what's in the public domain. An incident happened and you would hear 10 people were killed. And you will hear from the same authority that comes out and say only 2 people were killed, even if it was 1 that was killed. You see, there's empathy, there is a way leadership is meant to be seen, right? There's a way you're meant to pass the pain that people feel as though you're part of it by yourself. But when we hear a case where this is an attack on the presidency, this is an attack on our government, this is an attack for a particular party to rule over, I think it's totally unacceptable and embarrassing to us as people and as a nation.
Well, this is quite a situation here. Every major newspaper here is talking about the Boko Haram, the Borno massacre, the fight against insurgency. So I'm calling, as a senator, calling for the president to, summoning the president to come before it. But gentlemen, thank you very much for doing justice to this discussion this morning. It's quite a sad incident, quite frankly. It is. I'm sure very soon this insurgency will be behind us.
Hopefully so. Thank you.
Thank you very much.